go to the house. Now he had the who's who of the NBA Hall of Fame. I mean, he had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Lou Alcindor at the time, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and he had, I mean, just incredible players that played for him, right? How many of those freshmen ever accomplished that their first day of practice at UCLA? Zero. So there's two fundamentals to building a sales and marketing organization, and if you don't employ them and use them, you will meet with limited success. The first fundamental is you've got to make a written list, and I coached you earlier, that written list has to be every single person that you know. Doesn't mean that you're going to call every single person you know day one. You're going to qualify the list. You're going to look for people that are self-starters, that own and operate their own business, and so on and so forth. But the bottom line is you want to make a written list of everybody you know. And at a minimum, for the average person, that should be at least 500 people. Most of you made a written list of 30 or 40 people, maybe 50 people. That's everybody I know. This is when you start pre-qualifying people. Everybody you know. And then off that written list, you're going to sit down and you're going to start to talk to people on your first level. And your first level is called the foundation. When this hotel was built, it wasn't built on sand. They took a lot of time putting in the electrical conduit. They took a long time getting the plumbing in place. They took a long time squaring up the forms and pouring the concrete, putting the rebar in. They took a long time to build the foundation for this. So the foundation for your business is your front line. People will attract like people. So if you put a weak foundation in, you're going to have a weak organization. People have a tendency to recruit down in their sphere of influence instead of up in their sphere of influence. So you make a written list, and one of the people on that list is Joe. And you're going to follow our system. You're going to make a written list. You're going to invite them to take a look. Now, this is an important distinction. A lot of people think you're inviting them at this point to join. You're not inviting them to join. You're inviting them to take a look. All you want them to do is look at that video. All you want them to do is look at a PowerPoint presentation. All you want them to do is come to an in-home meeting and take a look at the presentation. And then from taking a look is presentation. So the invitation to look. So it's written list, invitation, presentation, and then validation. Three-way calls, magazines, hotel meetings, things that can validate, meetings with upline, sideline, whatever, things that can validate that Ambit Energy is for real. So at the end of that process, and I'm going through that process with Joe, put him on my written list. Joe, I invited him to take a look. I showed him over the internet the video. I put him on a three-way call with my sideline, upline, whoever it is. I handed him the magazine. I went through multiple validations. At the end of the day, he could say, yes, I want to join Ambit Energy. Don't be like Joey was in the beginning. Go to a computer and sign them up. Okay? So if they say yes, go and sign them up on a computer immediately. Don't let them get out of your sight. That means you should have a tablet or some means to sign them up. I've seen it too many times. You go to an in-home meeting, they're excited, they're ready to sign up. The device to sign them up isn't there. They go home to their husband or their wife, and oh, that won't work, and I don't want you doing that, and the next day they're done. Okay, if they made that financial commitment that night, they're going to at least see the job through to get their money back, and you got an opportunity to retain them in the business. If they say yes, you sign them up. If they say no, you ask them to be a customer. And if they say maybe, how many people would agree that the vast majority of people you show this business to say maybe?
Yes.
Okay, they say, I need to talk to my husband, I need to talk to my wife, I need to come up with the money, I'm busy with this at work and now's not a good time. Whatever it is, it's not a yes, it's not a no, it's a maybe. So as soon as whatever it is they say, and I could go on for 3 hours about all the different reasons they'll tell you maybe, but whatever that maybe is, you identify it in your mind, that's a maybe. Let's say that the person said yes. Now they didn't, they said maybe, but let's say they said yes. Have you ever analyzed how we get paid in Ambit Energy? We get 5 cents per month per customer. First way we get paid, loyal customers. We need to get 20 customers. We qualify to be promoted to national consultant, get paid through all 7 levels. We need to maintain 20 customers. That's $1 a month. Did you get in the business to make $1 a month? Go get 40 customers and make $2 a month.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you go get 100 customers and make $5 a month. I mean, there's no money in that. The only reason you go and get customers is to get that upfront bonus and to promote the marketing plan. Those are the drivers of customer acquisition in our business. It's not the nickel, but yet nobody gets paid without customers. So the bottom line is Joe is going to have to make a written list of people that he knows, because the second way we get paid is find other people and help them go and gather customers. Not tell them to go gather customers, important distinction, help them go and gather customers. And when you go and help them gather customers, then what happens is they get bonused, you get bonused, everybody gets excited, customers go into the residual thing, and that scale that Coach talked about starts to tip the other way. Now, I got my first CLBs, and you know, I was making $10,000 a month or whatever, 0 in residual. Well, now I get about 75% of my money in, or you know, about 75% of my money. I can't do the math that fast. I graduated from LSU, took me 5.5 years. I was the Miller Bear campus representative for the 5.5 years. I can't do math real good. My mother said, if it's got a $ in front of it, you can figure it out. Otherwise, you're in trouble. And I think she was right. But the bottom line is that the majority of my income today is now off a residual because of all of those coach receipts that have gone out, and everybody's dispensed a little bit. And it happens month after month after month after month after month. So Joe said maybe. The only way I know Joe or anybody else that's looking in this business or whatever, is they've got to focus on number 2, help other people gather customers. So I want to find out if Joe's going to give me a written list, but I also want to get Joe qualified for the money. So I'm going to turn to Joe when he tells me maybe, hey, I really need to talk to my wife and everything. I said, well, Joe, let me ask you a question. And there's some key points. It doesn't matter how you ask this question, but there's some key points to this question. If it didn't cost you anything, so I'm going to eliminate the dollars immediately, the $75, okay? If it didn't cost you anything, and I did most of the work, now I'm going to appeal the fact that most people are inherently lazy, would it be worth an additional 7 to 10 hours of your time to see if Ambit could work for you and your family? Well, sure. And they're going to either do one or two things. I'm going to get a written list. Who do you know wants to save money as a customer? Who do you want to know makes money, wants to make money as a consultant? Or who do you know better off that might want to do both? Now, Joe is going to do one or two things. He's either going to give me the list, or he's going to give me a reason why he can't give me the list. If he doesn't give me the list, I sweat. I don't have to go through what everybody in this room goes through. Call them back, beg them, well, let me talk to my wife, I'll get back with you next week. You call them up, I haven't talked to my wife, Johnny cut his leg, and I promise I'll talk to her this weekend. No, I haven't called, and all of a sudden they quit answering your phone call. How many people have had that happen to you? Okay. The reason, I can see you laying back with 2 hands up. The reason that happened is you weren't working the business mechanically. Wouldn't it be a lot better right there on the spot to know whether they're in or out?
Yeah.
Okay, here is the silver bullet to end all silver bullets. If they give you the written list, there's a good probability they're in. And if they won't give you the written list, they're out. Period in the paragraph. Doesn't mean they can't come back in if they don't want to, but the bottom line is that they don't believe enough in the business to refer you to other people. What is the probability of their success? None and none. Why do you want to convince somebody to get into the business, ride their back until they get a couple of customers, and think you got something? If Joe goes, in fact, I was thinking about my brother-in-law the other day. He was telling me that blah, 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 and then I was thinking about Mary. I've actually had people I'm doing the business presentation to, and they're writing down the names as I'm doing the business presentation. You know you got a good one then. So you got a written list. Now, I used to teach, call that written list and see how many people want to look at the business presentation. That's when it was $429. There was a paradigm shift that when we went down to $75 to join the business, and in Texas you can get 2 customers, in the Northeast you can get 3 customers. We can break it down, and we can tell them how much money they make an hour. We can get a written list and start smiling, dialing to gather customers. If you've got over 20 customers, you put them on your account, because when Joe joins the business, you put them down to Joe. So what's the lesson there? If you don't have 20 customers, go get 20 customers as fast as you can. It used to be you just kind of got customers that you promoted through the marketing plan. What I'm telling you, in today's Ambit Energy with a $75 entry level, what you want to do is you want to have 21, 22, 23, 25 customers. Joe says, yeah, you know, I know some people want to save some money on the electricity. Great. You take that person, you get them on the phone, you coach Joe up. I don't have time to go through that. If you go to, where's Dr. Ryan? What would they Google to get your video on the paradigm shift?
Just go to youtube.com, type in Dr. Ryan Ambit. It'll come right up.
So if you go to youtube.com, type in Dr. Ryan Ambit, you'll see the paradigm shift video. It's about a 20-25 minute video. It'll show you the whole system, okay? So Joe says maybe. So I sit there and I smile and dial with Joe, and we get 3 customers in and out. How much money did Joe just make for 3 customers in the Northeast? He just made $100 an hour. Yep. Do you think you have Joe's attention now? Guess what else he just did? You made it risk-free, because Joe's going to put up a credit card for $102 or $103 worth of tax, and he just made $100, and you're going to put him underneath him. There's no financial risk. So if Joe's willing to work with you, you can eliminate the financial risk. You can get him a check on the first Friday that he's in the business, and then you can ask Joe, who else do you know? And I don't have time to get into the mechanics of it, but actually some of those customers will convert into consultants, but who do you know? So Joe, let's say Joe hasn't joined the business, and Joe says, well, I know Mary, I think she'd be interested in the business. Written list from Joe leads to Mary. You invite Mary to take a look at the video. Show the presentation is shown in the video. Mary says maybe. Mary's cooperative, gives a written list. Sue's on the written list. Sue's cooperative, still said maybe. Bob's on her written list, and then all of a sudden you're down 5 levels, and Dave says yes. Now I want you to look, as you're looking at the screen up there on the left-hand side, notice that the yes percentage increases as we go down, and the maybe decreases. And the reason it does, if you look at level 3 on the right-hand side to you, it says decentralization. You are who you are, and your friends know who you are, and you're talking to them about an energy business, and all of a sudden, and that energy business is not who you are. You're a teacher, you're a doctor, you're somebody, but you're not an energy.